Okay, so here are the Mathswatch questions that I was sent to help with. Let's go through them now. Tim uses his lorry to deliver dirt. You can use this graph to find the delivery cost for different distances. For each delivery, there is a fixed charge plus a charge for distance. How much is the fixed charge? The fixed charge we work out by finding the cost when there is zero distance, because the relationship between the total cost, so our total cost TC equals our fixed cost plus the distance. So that's how we work out our total cost. We add our fixed cost and then we work out the cost based on the distance plus the fixed cost. Now to find the fixed cost, we just get rid of this d. So to get rid of this d, we let d equal 0. Or, like I say, that means we assume that there is no distance and we work out what the cost would be. Now if we go to this graph and we look at when the cost is 0, comes out about here, which is 3/5 the way up to 20. 3/5 times 20. We can cross the output of 4, because 5 lots of 4 is 20. 3 times 4 is 12. Our answer is £12. So, the next question, I'm going to change the colour of the ink to green. Tim makes 2 deliveries of turf. The distance of one delivery is 20 miles more than the distance of the other delivery. What is the distance? What is the difference between the 2 delivery costs? Right, okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to pick 2 points on the graph that are 20 miles apart, and we're going to work out what they are and then subtract the costs. We're not just going to pick any 2 distances though, we're going to pick 2 distances that nicely go through points on the graph, so subtraction is easy. So for example, we wouldn't pick 35 because it goes through somewhere here and we can't exactly pinpoint where that is, but 0, 20, 40 and 60 all go through the graph at nice points. We're going to use one of these 2. So just to make things easy, we're going to use 0 and 20 since we already know the delivery cost of 0. So when the distance equals 0, the delivery cost is £12. When d equals 20, the delivery cost equals, now let's have a look at 20, 40. Right, a lovely place, 40. The question says what is the difference between the 2 costs. So let's just do subtraction. 0 minus 2, we can't do that. We pinch 1 off the 4, 10 minus 2 is 8. 3 minus 1 is 2. So the answer is £28. So the amount of money is £28. The difference between the 2 delivery costs is that. There you go. We're going to go on to the next question. Abel, Ben and Cal each play a game. Abel's score was 6 times Ben's score. Cal's score was a third of Abel's score. Write down the ratios of Abel's score to Ben's score to Cal's score. Write the ratios in the simplest form. So let's have a look at this first line, and let's change back to a nice colour that I can actually see. So Abel's score was 6 times Ben's score. So let's write Abel. Let's write Ben. So for every one that, since Abel's score is 6 times Ben's score, we're going to put this. Okay, so Abel, who scores 6 times 1. So to get from Ben's score to Abel's score, we're going to multiply by 6. And this is the simplest way of explaining it. Then we're going to say Cal's score is a third of Abel's score. So Abel's score, we're going to say if Abel scored 3, a third of 3 is 1. This is the slowest multiple of 3 that I could get into. And you want Abel's score to be a multiple of 3 because when you find a third of it, you want it to be a whole number. So now we have our two. Now we have our two ratios. We're going to write our common ratio, our three-parter, like we've done in our previous videos. So 6, 1, 3, 1. Lowest common multiple of 6 and 3, that's 6. We're going to times this line by 2. So we're going to have 6, 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So the easiest way we can put this is 6, 1, 2. And that is the answer for that question. Let's go on to the next question. This diagram shows a quadrilateral ABCD with each of its sides extended. AB equals AD. Show that ABCD is a kite. Now, what this question wants you to do, this question wants you to prove that this shape has all the properties of a kite. So the properties of a kite are two equal opposite angles. In fact, let me just quickly Google the properties of a kite, just so I know that. Brilliant. Properties of a kite. Two pairs of sides. Each pair is two equal lengths that are adjacent. They meet. That's fine. The angles are equal where the two pairs meet. Diagonals cross at right angles and blah 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 blah. Okay, so yes, so what we want to say that these two angles are the same. Two equal opposite angles, here and here. And we want to say, we know that AB equals BD, so we've got our pair of equal sides that meet. So we can say, firstly, we can say that AB equals AD. That's a D, sorry, not a B. We know that because this is given. Next thing we want to do, we want to show that there are two opposite angles that exist for ABC, so this angle here, and ADC, this angle here. So what we're going to do, we're just going to solve every angle. So we can find ADC by subtracting it by subtracting 65 from 180, because lines on a straight line equal 180. So we're going to say that the angle ADC equals 180 minus 65, and that is because angles on a straight, we'll find the easy way of doing this, line equal 180. There we go, that's not too bad. So 180 subtract 65, let's just do that as subtraction. 180, 65. 0 minus 5, can't do that. We pinch 1 off the 8, so that's 7. 1, 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 6 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 1. So this angle here is 115. Equals 115. Awesome. So now we're going to find, we can't find this ABC yet, we don't have anything to go off, but we can find BCD, this angle. So we can say that the angle BCD is 20 because opposite angles are equal. So this angle, when you have a pair of lines, this angle and this angle are always equal. So whatever this angle is, that angle is also op angles are equal. Okay, now we can finally solve for ABC, sorry, the angle we're actually looking for, this one here. Because all angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360, all the interior angles. So we can say that the angle ABC equals 360. So 360 is what angles in a quadrilateral add up to. Subtract, and we're going to add the angles we have together. 110 plus 115 plus 20. So let's do that. 110, 115 and 20. 0 plus 5 plus 0 is 5. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 1 plus 1 is 2. So minus 2 to almost made a silly mistake again. 2, 4, 5. So let's do subtraction. 360 minus 2, 4, 5. 0 minus 5, we can't do that. We picked 1 off of 6, so that becomes 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus 4 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. So this equals 115. Now these two angles are equal. We've just shown that there are two equal opposite sides. And that is what we wanted to do. We wanted to show that the kite has two pairs of equal angles, two pairs of unequal angles. BAD is 110, BCD is 20, but ABC and ADC are both the same. We've just shown that. A, B, C equals A, D, C. And that's what we wanted to prove. We wanted to prove that there are two pairs, one pair of equal angles, one pair of unequal angles, and we wanted to show that there were a pair of equal sides that meet, and the question does that for us. And we wanted to show that there are a pair of unequal, pair of equal, and we've done that as well. So that's that question finished. We can go on to the next question. Here are two rectangles, complete the sentence. The two rectangles are similar and the scale factor is 1. Now the scale factor is what we multiply the smaller number by and get to the big number. So we go from 8 centimetres to 12 centimetres. So 8 multiplied by something, x, equals 12. We're going to solve for x. X equals 12 over 8. Which equals 1.5 or 3 over 2. So we're just going to put 1.5 and there we go, Bob's your uncle. Now this question is a bit more wordy. Superstore and Cheap Store are two supermarkets that sell boxes of the same type of cereal. Each supermarket has a special offer. 600 grams 20% off the normal price of £5, 600 grams plus 30% extra for £5. We want to work out which one is better value for money. So let's have a look at cheap store first. So cheap store, 20% off the normal price of £5. So we want to work out what 20% off from £5 is. Well, we can do that by, okay, so 20, let's convert this to fractions, 20 over 100, because it's 20% over 100%, which is 1 over 5, so it's a fifth off. So if there's a fifth off, there's 4/5 left. That's what we're interested in. We're interested in the what's left. Because we've taken off the 1/5, but we've got left 4/5. We start off with 5/5, which is our original amount. We take off our fifth because there's 20% off, and what we're left with is 4/5. 4/5 of £5. Well, we can just cancel out those 4 5s because they are top and bottom. They cancel out. We're left with 4. So we have £4 for 600 grams. Now we're working out a better value for money, so we want to have this either in terms of how many grams you get for a pound, or how many pounds you get for a gram. We want to know. We want to have a direct line of comparison, because when we find out that Superstore thing is going to be 30% on top of the 600 grams, there's going to be different amounts of grams and different amounts of pounds. We can't directly compare them. We need them to have the same amount of money or the same amount of grams. So we are going to divide this all by 4 so we can work out how many grams you're getting per pound. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. So for every pound we are going to get how much grams. So let's just do division. 600 divided by 4. How many 4s going to 6? 1. Remainder 2. How many 4s going to 20? 5. Remainder nothing. 4 is going to 0. 0. So we get 150 grams for a pound. Now we're going to work out Superstore. So let's do Superstore now. 600 grams plus 30% extra for a £5. So this time the percentage is in relation to the weight, not the price. So we want to know what 30% on top of our 600 grams is. So let's work out 10%. How do you work out 10%? Well, you just divide by 10. So 10% of 600 is going to be 60, because we're going to cross out one of the zeros. So 10 grams, 10% equals 60 grams. 30%, we're going to times by 3. 6 times 3 is 18. 0 times 3 is 0, 180 grams. There we go, we're on to a winner. So we're going to add that to our 600. 600 plus 180 equals 0.87. So we have 780 grams for a £5. Now remember, we're going to do what we did with the first part of this. We're going to have this in terms of £1. So we're going to divide this all by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, so £1. 4. Now we want to know how many grams we're getting. So 5 divided by 780. 5 into 7 go once, remainder 2. 5 into 28 go 5, remainder 3. 5 into 3 is 6. So we get £1 for 156 grams. The question says, what's better value for money? So we want to know, we want more stuff for the same amount of money. 150 grams, 156. 156 is bigger than 150. So which one's better value for money? It's going to be Superstore, because Superstore are giving us more cereal for the same amount of money. So Superstore is better value for money. And there is your answer. Right, let's go to the next question. Rotate shape A 180 degrees about 0.10. So, firstly, let's indicate where our point is that we're rotating. 10 is here. 180 degrees. So, you're rotating it here, which is 90, and here, which is 180. We're going from this quadrant to this quadrant to this quadrant. So let me just rub that out so we can actually get some drawing done. So what we're gonna do is we are going to so the way I'm going to explain it, the way I think is easiest to understand, is simply rotating it 180 degrees basically means we are going to we're going to skip the rotation question, because having just looked it up, rotation questions, all it wants you to do is just use tracing paper, and you can find a way of using I can't really explain how to use tracing paper through this medium, because it just I can't really show it across very well. So we're going to do the questions that we can do. The rotation questions we're going to have to just ignore, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore with them. Now this is a big 5 marker. So let's go through it. It looks like a lot of words. Don't be daunted. Just take it one line at a time. A bonus of £4,200 is shared by 10 people who work for a company. 40% of the bonus is shared equally between the 3 managers. The rest of the bonus is shared equally between 7 salespeople. Peter, one of the salespeople, says if the bonus was shared equally between all 10 people, I would get 25% more money. Janet, a manager, says no, you wouldn't get that much extra. Show that Janet is correct by working out how much Peter thinks he would get and how much he would actually get. Your final answer must look something like this. Thinks he would get this much, actually would get this much. Okay, so let's go through how much he thinks he would get. So Peter, one of the salespeople, said if the bonus was shared equally, he would get 25% more. So let's go through the question. A bonus of 4,200. So this is the total amount of money. Is shared between 10 people. 40% goes to 3 managers. The rest of the bonus is shared between 7 people. So let's work out how much he thinks he would get if the bonus was shared equally between 10 people. So equally between 10 people is divided by 10. So if it was shared between 10 people, he would get £420. Okay, so we know how much he would actually get. He would actually get £420. So let's work out how much he does get. So we want 420. So imagine it's a cake. 420. 40% of the cake is shared between 3 people, and this 60% is shared between 7 people. This isn't a very good way of showing it, but this 40% here is between 3 managers, and this 60% is shared between 7 salespeople. let's go through and work out how much the one salesperson would get, because Peter is one salesperson. So we want 60% of the 4,200. So let's work that out. 60% of 4,200 is what? Well, let's work out 10%, which is, cross out one of the zeros, 420. 60% is 420 times by 6. We can do that as multiplication. 420 times by 6. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. 2, 5, 20. So this whole amount that is shared between the salespeople is 2,520. Now we want to know what this is split into 7 people, because it's equally, because the rest of the bonus is shared equally between 7 salespeople. So 2,520 divided by 7. 7 into 2 goes 0. 7 into 25, 7, 4, 21, goes 3 times with a remainder of 4. 7 into 42 goes 6. 0. So he gets 320. He wants 420, he gets 360. We want to know how much of an increase this is, because he says, I will get 25% more money. So, to find how much of an increase this is, we divide the top by the bottom. 420 divided by 360. Or we can cross out the zeros for a starter. 420 divided by 360, well, we can divide both sides by 2, even numbers. 21 over 18. Now these are both multiples of 3. We can divide by 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Our simplest, oh, that's a really awful 7. 7/6. So we want to express this as a percentage. So firstly, let's convert it to a decimal. So we want 6 divided by, no we do, yes we do, 6 divided by 7. So 6 divided by 7 is 1, remainder 1. 6 is into 10 is 1, remainder 4. 6 is into 40 is 6, remainder 4. 6, and that goes on forever. So 1.116. The percentage increase is how much it is going from 1 to 1.16. The difference between that is 0.16. Multiply this by 100, there's a 16.6% increase. So, if he thinks he would get something, he thinks he would get 25% more of what he already gets. What is 25% more of what he already gets? Well, 360 plus 25%. So, 25% is just the same as a quarter. A quarter of 360 is 90. We now know what our quarter is. $360 plus 90 is 450. So he thinks he would get 450. Actually, he would get 420, and that is what the answer is. this part of the question was a bit redundant, if I'm being totally honest, so we didn't really need to do any of that. Cross that out as well. We weren't really interested in, the question doesn't really want us to go down this route, so I'll just rub all that out. Let's rub that out, rub that out, rub that out. But this part of the question here, looking at the slide, you can pause this and kind of go through what I've done, or just rewind it and go through again. This stuff here is the good stuff. This is the stuff that you need to get those 5 marks. So I think that is the last question. That is the last question. Right. I'm sorry a bit of a faff with the rotation question and all, but I hope that was helpful. I will get on to the next 2 videos soon, and they will be done in the next few days.